There's something deadly sweeping across Wuhan, China. A strange illness that does not infect humans. Instead, it seems to mostly kill electric vehicles, and a lot of them are sent to an eerie graveyard right next to their counterparts that have suffered the same fate. Something similar seems to be happening across cities in China. Like this city of Hangzhou in the province Zhejiang that went viral in 2019 as watchers were perplexed by the odd appearance of fairly new cars piling up in these graveyards. Another similar city is Jiuxing, where some cars have been abandoned for so long that plants have begun to grow out of their trunks. Others were discarded so quickly that stuffed animals can still be found on their dashboards. These strange graveyards represent dead hopes and dreams of investors, and billions of dollars in losses for buyers and sellers alike. But what could possibly create such a unique problem? Why is China seemingly running away from electric vehicles, while the rest of the world is running towards it? The cars in the graveyards are from a variety of manufacturers. There are Geely cars, Neta cars, and BYD cars. There are also cars from lesser-known manufacturers like Zhongtong Bus Holdings, which have seen their sales fall by a massive 40%. These companies have also seen their net profit decline by 80%. There are now around 100 Chinese electric car makers, down from roughly 500 in 2019. These graveyards are a reminder of the fragility of the electric vehicle industry. It is a cautionary tale that shows how quickly the electric vehicle industry can change. So why are these graveyards coming from? What exactly does this mean for the future of electric vehicles? And why is the Chinese government to blame? We will answer all those questions in this video. Welcome to another project. In the not-so-distant past, the concept of electric vehicles in China was merely a novelty. But today, it has transformed into a roaring revolution that's changing the automotive landscape as we know it. The story of the rise of EVs in China is a fascinating journey that began with humble origins, progressed at a lightning pace, and was supercharged by government subsidies. Let's wind the clock back to the early 2000s. At that time, EVs in China were nothing more than experimental prototypes, often relegated to niche status. A handful of domestic manufacturers took their first steps into the EV market, testing the waters with small-scale production. In 2009, BYD, a Chinese automaker, made headlines with the introduction of the F3DM, one of the first mass-produced plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. It was a modest start, but it laid the foundation for what would become a monumental shift. Fast forward to 2015, and we begin to witness the spark of change. China's government recognized the potential of EVs and decided to invest heavily in the industry. They initiated a slew of policies and subsidies to incentivize EV production, purchase, and usage. One of the most significant policies was the New Energy Vehicle, or the NEV credit system, which mandated that automakers produce a certain percentage of NEVs or pay fines. This created a powerful motivation for both Chinese and international automakers to ramp up their EV offerings. Government subsidies also played a pivotal role in boosting the industry. Subsidies for EVs, charging infrastructure, and research and development provided the necessary financial push. These incentives made EVs not only more affordable, but also an attractive option for environmentally conscious consumers. By 2016, China had become the world's largest EV market, surpassing the United States, and this was just the beginning. As the years went by, China continued its meteoric rise in the EV industry. By 2019, they were home to more than 50% of the world's electric vehicle sales, a clear sign of the country's commitment to sustainability. This growth can be attributed to the combination of government support and increased awareness among consumers. One of the defining moments of the Chinese EV industry came in 2020 with the launch of the Tesla Model 3 in China. The Model 3, designed and manufactured in China, not only signaled the arrival of a global EV giant, but also showcased China's proficiency in the EV sector. This event marked a turning point for EVs in the country, as Tesla's mass appeal drew more consumers to the EV market. The expansion of the EV charging infrastructure was also vital to China's EV journey. In 2020, China had over 800,000 public charging points, an impressive number by any standard. This extensive charging network made EV ownership more practical and appealing for a growing number of consumers. The adoption of EVs wasn't just limited to passenger cars. In China, electric buses became a common sight on the streets, and they played a significant role in reducing urban pollution. China's aggressive push for electric public transportation was both an environmental and economic win. As of 2021, the growth of EVs in China has been nothing short of remarkable. According to the China Association of Automobile Manufacturers, China sold over 1.3 million new energy vehicles in 2020, more than 3 times the number sold in the previous year. In the first quarter of 2021, China's EV sales continued to surge, with an increase of 239% compared to the same period in 2020. China's push for electric vehicles isn't just about reducing emissions and dependence on fossil fuels. It's also about maintaining a competitive edge in the global automotive industry. Chinese automakers have rapidly evolved and are now producing high-quality electric vehicles, giving traditional giants like Tesla, Toyota, and Volkswagen a run for their money. But what does this have to do with Uber's decision to leave China in 2016? Before we continue, if you're enjoying this video, consider leaving a like, share, and subscribing below. It goes a long way in supporting the channel. Let's continue. Nobody would prepare these automakers for the storm that was about to come. While the growth of electric vehicles in China has been remarkable, it has inadvertently cast a shadow on the car-sharing and ride-hailing sectors, leading to a surge in electric vehicle graveyards across the country. The very factors that propelled the EV industry forward have played a significant role in the downfall of car-sharing and ride-hailing in the electric vehicle landscape. First, let's look at the statistics. In 2019, the Chinese car-sharing market was valued at over $500 million, a seemingly promising figure. However, as the adoption of EVs continued to surge, car-sharing faced major hurdles. With more individuals owning their EVs, the need for car-sharing diminished. Consumers preferred the convenience of owning their electric vehicles, with charging infrastructure becoming more widespread and accessible. As a result, car-sharing services have struggled to retain their user base, leading to a decline in the market, with some companies having to shutter their operations. Similarly, the ride-hailing sector faced its own set of challenges. With the popularity of electric vehicles, many ride-hailing companies began transitioning to an all-electric fleet. However, the high initial costs of EVs posed a financial burden on drivers. While the government subsidies on EVs did make them more affordable, it wasn't sufficient to cover the expenses incurred by drivers who faced the costs of purchasing, maintaining, and charging these vehicles. This financial strain led to a decrease in the number of ride-hailing drivers who could afford to operate electric vehicles, resulting in longer waiting times and increased prices for riders. The proliferation of personal EV ownership also played a pivotal role in the phenomenon of electric vehicle graveyards. As consumers enthusiastically embraced electric vehicles, the market was flooded with outdated or malfunctioning EVs that were no longer profitable for their owners. In 2020, China had over 4.5 million registered EVs, and this number has continued to rise. This surge in EV ownership, coupled with the rapid technological advancements in the industry, has created a growing graveyard of abandoned electric vehicles. Additionally, the battery lifespan of EVs became a concern. While Chinese manufacturers have made significant strides in battery technology, the degradation of batteries over time remains an issue. Batteries that could no longer hold a sufficient charge led to owners discarding their EVs, further contributing to the graveyard phenomenon. These discarded electric vehicles, often left in junkyards or abandoned in remote areas, have environmental and economic implications. The disposal of EV batteries can pose environmental risks, and the sheer volume of abandoned EVs adds to the challenges of waste management. The government subsidies that fueled the electric vehicle (EV) industry's rapid growth in China had unintended consequences. They led to the production of a significant number of short-range, low-quality EVs, which not only created fierce competition within the industry, but also contributed to the mounting electric vehicle graveyards across the nation. These subsidies, while instrumental in making EVs more affordable, prompted some manufacturers to prioritize quantity over quality. In their pursuit of maximizing government incentives, several companies rushed to produce inexpensive electric vehicles. These vehicles often featured smaller battery capacities, resulting in shorter driving ranges. While they met the eligibility criteria for subsidies, the compromise on range and overall quality made them less appealing to consumers seeking dependable and long-lasting EVs. This intense competition in the EV market gave rise to a situation where manufacturers sought to outdo one another in terms of affordability, inadvertently neglecting aspects like battery life and overall vehicle quality. This relentless race to offer the cheapest EVs led to the proliferation of subpar electric vehicles on the market. Consumers enticed by the low prices might have initially purchased these short-range EVs, but their dissatisfaction with limited driving capabilities and questionable durability soon became evident. The consequence of these factors is evident in the increasing number of electric vehicle graveyards in China. Many of these low-quality electric vehicles faced early obsolescence or frequent breakdowns, rendering them unsuitable for continued use. Disgruntled owners found themselves with vehicles that no longer served their needs, ultimately leading to the abandonment of these EVs in various locations. Moreover, the batteries used in these low-quality EVs often deteriorated more rapidly than those in higher-quality counterparts, further exacerbating the problem of electric vehicle graveyards. As these short-range EVs reached the end of their usable life, the cost of replacing their batteries often outweighed the value of the vehicles, resulting in abandonment rather than repair or repurposing. In retrospect, the journey of electric vehicles in China has been marked by astounding growth, policy-driven boosts, and unintended pitfalls. The government's initial subsidies ignited the spark that propelled the EV industry into the global limelight, paving the way for record-breaking sales and widespread adoption. However, this rapid ascent came at the cost of undermining the viability of car-sharing and ride-hailing services, creating fierce competition among manufacturers, and contributing to the surge in electric vehicle graveyards across the nation. Subsidy cuts introduced by the Chinese government were the final nail in the coffin. In an effort to balance its budget and prevent over-reliance on state support, these cuts resulted in a sharp decline in EV sales, a blow to the industry that had become accustomed to government incentives. The combination of lower subsidies and the overproduction of short-range, low-quality EVs led to consumers becoming disillusioned with the technology, effectively eroding the market's confidence in electric vehicles. To address the electric vehicle graveyard problem and steer the industry toward a more sustainable future, a major solution lies in the development of a robust recycling and repurposing infrastructure for EV batteries. Many of the abandoned EVs still contain valuable components, including batteries that could be recycled, refurbished, and reused in various applications, reducing waste and environmental impact. This not only extends the useful life of these batteries, but also reduces the financial burden on consumers, as refurbished batteries are more affordable than new ones. As China navigates the challenges posed by its growing electric vehicle graveyards, other cities and countries can take this as a cautionary tale. The rapid growth of the EV industry should be accompanied by a comprehensive approach that considers the entire life cycle of electric vehicles. This includes setting quality and durability standards for manufacturing, addressing the issue of short-range, low-quality EVs, and creating policies that support recycling and repurposing initiatives for EV batteries. By learning from the successes and setbacks of China's electric vehicle journey, other regions can implement more sustainable strategies for the EV industry, ensuring a cleaner and more responsible transition to electric transportation in the years to come. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Here are some videos that we have handpicked that we think you will enjoy.